What's up, guys? It's 2020 and I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that's in my home studio. Let's check it out. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about is my computer. I'm using the 2018 Mac Mini, the matte black, beautiful, sleek, slick little Apple computer, and I love it. There's a few reasons why I went with the Mac Mini on this one. I love Apple. I'm all in. I am a lifetime Apple person. I don't care about all the flaws, and trust me, there are a lot of flaws. Similar relationship with Pro Tools. I'm all in on Pro Tools. The second reason I went with the Mac Mini is the expandable RAM. Now, if you're familiar with Apple at all, they like to limit your ability to change things with the hardware. But this particular model of the Mac Mini, you can actually take it apart and upgrade the RAM. So I upgraded to 32 gigs of RAM, which is just exactly what I need, if not a little bit more. So I'm very happy with that. The third reason I went with the Mac Mini is it has great specs, it's a great portable size, and the price was right for my budget. This is what I've been using. I've been using it for a little bit over a year now, just around a year. It's been phenomenal. I love it. All right, the second thing we're gonna look at is my audio interfaces. Plural. Back in the day, I started with the Focusrite Scarlett, which has 8 mic pre's. It's more of an affordable option if you're just getting started and you want to multi-track with up to 8 microphones. I recently upgraded to the Universal Audio Apollo X8P, which is the Universal Audio sort of version of that. Has 8 mic pre's. It has 16 inputs and 22 outputs. The interface actually has what's called a hexacore processor. Basically means that you can record through the Universal Audio plugins with near zero latency, which is awesome. The Universal Audio plugins are ridiculous. So what I've done is I've connected the 8 inputs from the Focusrite into 9 through 16 digital inputs of the Universal Audio Apollo, giving me 16 mic pre's that I can use going straight into the interfaces. I also recently purchased a couple external mic pre's. So I went ahead and purchased the Warm Audio 273 pre's, mic pre. It's got a high pass filter, a line trim. Both mic pre's include phantom power, phase flip, a line input, an instrument input, insert, and a tone switch to add a little bit of tone, different tone to it, I guess, if you're into that. I love these things. Now, if you're just getting started off, you might not need something like this, but if you are not going to be multi-tracking with a lot of microphones, you can get a smaller interface and then maybe one channel of an external pre, because you're gonna be using that pre on everything, and it's nice to have a really good sounding mic pre. These are phenomenal. I love them. Okay, next are my speakers. These are the Focal Alpha 65s. These things are awesome. I got these. I went to a store in Nashville called Vintage King, and they have a monitor room with all of the different studio monitors you could ever dream of having set up. And I went through there and A/B'd all of the speakers. What I wanted was something that would not fatigue my ears over a long period of time if I'm working long 8-hour days or 10, 12-hour days. But I also wanted something not necessarily as flat as an NS10, but not misleading when I'm listening to it. These have been awesome. I actually use a sub with them. By the way, nothing in this video is sponsored, so just love all of this stuff. Yes, okay. Okay, so next I have 2 keyboards. This one is made by Akai. It is the MPK 261. This is really just my workhorse when it comes to jumping through sounds or finding parts or notes or drum samples or stuff like that. This one is super useful because it's slim, it's really functional, and it's got all of the fun gizmos and gadgets that I like to have on a MIDI controller, and it's pretty reasonably priced. So this one was a really good buy. I use it every single time that I work with somebody. This thing's pretty cool. This is called a big knob. In a studio, this is what we refer to as a monitor section. This is how you control your speakers, which speakers you're using, how loud the volume is, what your input source is. By input source, I mean, are we listening to the interface? Are we listening to the iPhone that somebody brings in and says, hey, can I play this? And you just go, Here you go. And then it comes in through your speakers. If you want to turn your sub on, you can control your sub. If you want to use your talkback, it's got a little talkback button. It's got headphone controls. There's quite a lot that you can actually do with this little thing. I think it was like 350 bucks. I don't know if it's the best version of it. It works, and I've been using it for a while. I'll say that. At some point in time, I may upgrade if I come across a bunch of money or some company sends it to me and wants me to review it. Then I might do that. If not, this thing works pretty well. I'm gonna keep using it until it breaks. All right, so next, I actually covered this in the video that I just put out before this one on backing up hard drives and storage and data management and stuff. I'll link it right here if you wanna watch that. Just to briefly cover it, is my hard drive backup system is this 4 HDD SSD dock, meaning I can dock up to 4 hard drives on one dock and connect it to my computer via one cable. That is crucial. I love it. It's a new buy. I'm really happy with it, and I'll put links down in the description for all this stuff if you want to check it out for yourselves. It's really helpful. Okay, so next I'm just going to show you a couple of the mics that I use on every single session no matter what. First, the SM7. This thing is amazing. I've mentioned it before. I use it on freaking everything. It actually makes me kind of angry how perfect it is on every single thing that I put it on. And I will add the caveat that it is a very low gain output. It has a low gain output. I don't know how to say that. You need some extra juice with this one. So you either need a really solid mic pre, like that guy right there, or you need what's called a cloud lifter. You plug it in, you send phantom power to the cloud lift, not to the mic, and it juices it up a little bit, but this thing sounds phenomenal. I love it. I use it on vocals, I use it on acoustic guitar, I use it on electric guitar, I use it on drums, I use it on cymbals, I use it on percussion. It's so good. Oh, okay, so the next one is the Warm Audio 87 large diaphragm condenser. It is a fantastic mic. I've been using it on acoustic guitars, I've been using it on vocals, I've been using it on drums. I use it as a room mic. I haven't used it on electric guitar amp yet, but it's worked out really well, and I've used it on most of the sessions that I've done since I got it. Pretty affordable mic. I got it for 450 bucks. It was a Black Friday thing. I'm not sure if you can still get it for that much, but it's a good buy. Good large diaphragm, condenser, phantom power, that kind of thing. Sounds good. The next mics are going to be a rapid fire mode. I'm just going to go through the mics that are on my drum kit that I don't use on everything else, but that I do use on this kit when I'm just cranking away on drums. Kick in AKG D112. Kick out SPB1. Actually don't know much about that company. Snare top SM57. Snare bottom SM57. Rack tom Audix I5, floor tom Audix D4. I went through an Audix phase. On the hi-hat I use an SM7. On the overheads I usually use the Shure SM81s, 2 of them, XY, spaced pair, whatever. And then rooms, depending on what kind of vibe it is, I would like to use a ribbon mic, but that'll be coming soon. And then over here in this little basket, I have some extra SM57s, this Synthesizer E609, and then I have a Groove Tubes G66, which is a tube large diaphragm condenser, and some DIs, and I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but that's what I can see around me. This drum kit is awesome. This is a 1965 Slingerland Studio King Champagne Sparkle 4-piece, and then I have a CNC Black Beauty snare drum. That's my primary snare that I use on everything. I also have a Ludwig Piccolo. I don't know the specific type. And then I have a snare drum from SJC Custom Drums. It's like a big behemoth. I think it's like 7 inches deep. I don't use it. If you want to buy it, let me know. And let's check out some guitars. So this is probably one of the bigger parts of my toolbox as a producer and engineer is the guitar. So I keep this right next to my desk so I can just reach over if I have an idea and grab it and just sort of figure it out. And then I can throw it back onto the stand, or I can record the acoustic right here, pull my microphone over and just track right into the session. This is a guitar that was given to me when I was 15 by Green Day. It's a Squier Strat. It actually is pretty great for a Squier. And then over here we have the Guild electric guitar, and then there's a bass there, and all of these things are pretty good. They're not incredible, but they work really well. I usually hire players to come in and play on the records that I work on, but it's really nice having this to be able to use to figure it out and get the parts sorted out, and then I can have a player come in and do it the right way. But yeah, this is all great. This is the Kurzweil 88 weighted keyboard synthesizer thing. This is my wife's. This is a super nice, really great keyboard. This is also sort of part of my toolbox. If I want to hear something on a different instrument instead of using the guitar, I can come over here. This just goes right to these speakers. If I want to hear something on the Rhodes or a B3 or a Wurlitzer or something like that, I can hear it right in the moment in context with the song without having to go through any plugins or anything like that, and then sort of figure out the parts, and then we can go through and pull up the right sound and do the MIDI and you know, so this is really great for that. All right, so last but certainly not least is my desk. This is where everything happens. This is the platform desk. This is a mammoth of a desk. It is super heavy duty, very heavy, literally, and it's also optimized and built for people just like me, people who are recording, who are producers. It has the drawer for your MIDI controller. It has 9 rack units for outboard gear or interfaces. The shelf at the top is designed perfectly to be at ear height when you're listening. It has these little pockets and holes all throughout the desk for cable management, so you do not have wires. If you happen to notice, my desk, even though it has all of these random things on it, is super clean looking, and all of the cables are wired and ran perfectly behind it and underneath it so that it's out of sight, and it looks great. It's a good one. I would definitely recommend it. Alright, now this would not be a proper recording studio if I did not have a coffee bar. So over here in the corner of the studio, I have these shelves that sort of go inside of the walls where I can store coffee, tea, waters, cups. There's a little mini fridge that sits here. It's actually extremely quiet, which is obviously important for the recording. But inside the fridge, I have milk, creamer, all the supplies you could ever use for tea and for coffee, the coffee machine, coffee storage. There is tea, sweetener for if you that kind of person. Room temperature waters, chilled waters. The point of keeping this in the studio is to make sure that people feel comfortable. Sometimes it's nice to have the aroma of coffee. It smells good. And it also keeps people awake and keeps you working. Like right now it's after midnight and I'm about to pour another cup of coffee. So having this in here definitely is good for productivity and just making people feel comfortable when they show up. You can offer them coffee or water or tea or something like that. And it's just polite and makes people feel good when they come in. So it's fair to say that this is probably one of the most important parts of the studio. All right, so that's my home studio tour for 2020. It is beginning of February. So let me know down in the comments what you think is missing in the studio, what could be better, what could be improved, what I should invest in. This is gonna be a big year of growth for me. I have a lot of goals that I'm trying to reach this year, and I'm looking to invest in a lot of new gear and work some stuff out. So let me know down in the comments what you think. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe for more of this stuff, and follow me on Instagram and all the things, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.